Tekken 8 Season 2 has buffed over 90% of the character roster, and it just so happens that all 4 of my mains, well, with the exception of 1, have all gotten some massive buffs this season as well. Now, if you don't know me or if you're new here, I main 4 different characters in this game. I main Raven, I main Steve, I main Lars, and I main Leroy Smith as well. I took all 4 of these characters to GOD back in Season 1. I've used all 4 of these characters in offline tournaments as well, winning a few tourneys with them. So yeah, I really do love these 4 characters. Now, it's been just about 5 days since Season 2 launched, and I'm sure at this point you've seen all the character changes in the game. So I'm not going to individually go through all of these character changes. I'm just going to summarize it and talk about what I think about the characters, their strength, and how they hold up against every other buffed character in Season 2. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of crazy, bros. So let's get it. Let's first start with our boy Lars, and boys, it finally happened. Hashtag buff Lars finally happened. This is not an exaggeration. Like, Lars is actually mad strong in S2 after those buffs. You guys know Arslan, obviously, we all know Arslan Ash. He's actually talked about picking up Lars in Season 2 right now. He says he was actually a Lars main back in Tekken Tag 2, which I had no idea. I knew he played Nina, but I didn't know he played Lars. That's actually hype, bro. Like, Arslan Ash on Lars? Oh my days, that's kind of The thing about Arslan is he's a tier ho, right? And I say that respectfully because at the end of the day, in a tournament where money is involved, you do whatever the fuck you do to get that dub, to get that money, bro. So for him to talk about Lars means he's seen something with Lars. That's just... bro, Arslan Ash on Lars, man. Who would have thought? That's actually crazy. So what makes Lars good in Season 2? Now, firstly, down back 4. Down back 4 has always been a good law for Lars, but at high level, people say it's reactable because of the animation. At least that's what I got from most of the people from Pakistan. They say down back 4 is good, but it's not as good as Victor's down back 4. I think Victor's was faster. They might be the same. So now it's 1 frame faster. It's now 20 frames from, I think, 21 to 22 frames. That's a huge buff. Arslan also mentioned this as well. Like, down back 4 is now usable. Maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration because it's always been good, but like now it's 1 frame faster. It's a counter hit low, bro. Unreactable counter hit low. Not many characters have this in the game. So this is a huge buff for Lars at high level, especially. He's got down forward 1 pressure. Now, personally, I do not like this change. Like I said, I don't like making characters the same. They just homogenizing characters to do the same thing. Down forward 1 pressure, down forward 1 in the mid follow up, right? Down forward 1 is a high, down forward 1-3 is high mid, then unsafe mid follow up afterwards. They did the same thing with Devil Jin with down forward 1-3, down forward 1-2. Like, a lot of characters have this down forward 1 mix up, which honestly I hate. I hate it so bad. But hate aside, this is a good buff for Lars' pressure because down forward 1-1, like I said, with a high, and the mid follow up at the end with down forward 1-1-3, right? So it's got a huge pressure game with down forward 1 right now, which makes him very, very strong as well. Another good buff is his running 1. So running 1 is basically DE3, except it's +7 on block. Now the difference is with DE3 to SE1 or SE3+4, you can actually power crush in between if you don't want to take the mix up, or if the last player does not go low. But with running 1 into SE mix-ups, sheesh, you can't do shit, bro. Like, +7 is a lot. You can't even power crush the mix-up. Running 1 also has insane tracking. It's basically a homing move. Like, it's insane. The range as well is ridiculous. It also buffs his combos, gives the enhanced tail spin or the tail flip in combos. So his war carry is just buffed again. Like, it is insane. Knocks down on hit for guaranteed SE2 follow up. Like, this between DA3 and running 1. Like, bro, you can't just duck at max range with Lars because he's got DA3, he's got forward 1+2. You can do a dash up arc blast forward 2. But now giving him a running 1 on top of all that, yeah, boys, our boy finna cook this season. It's actually mad. I don't know what they were thinking when they gave this move to Lars. Other cracked buffs also include dynamic entry 3+4. Now has like a lightning, like sick lightning follow up, kind of like Reina's down 2. That's a massive damage. Knocks down for guaranteed down 1+2. Same thing applies for side step 2 as well. Goes goes to +6 when he is in hit, so you get a guaranteed follow-up. So you get a good frame trap with back 4, which is now buffed to give you the grab follow-up on normal hit, not counter hit, but normal hit. So this improves his mid game a lot. Think of it like King's forward 3 right into the DDT, or Armor King's back 4 to the stunner. Same thing with back 4 1+2 now for Lars. He's got so many other good changes. Down back 1-3 into LE now +3. You get a guaranteed mix-up unless they dick jab, can't even step. There's overall some good frame data improvements. So they've buffed his stance game mostly. His neutral laws are still the same. He still has the weakness of being a very risky character when it comes to laws in neutral. However, he's a scary as fuck character when he goes into stance. As well as his war combo. I forgot about his war combo. Oh my days, that war combo, it's a beautiful bellissimo. This will make me play Lars even more. It's so satisfying landing this combo, bro. Like, man, it's so satisfying. It's a huge buff, does some huge damage. It's got like nice hit dash combos now at the wall. They cooked with this war combo in there, but this is what makes Lars really strong in Tekken 8 Season 2 right now. As for how strong he is, well, wait until the end of the video for me to give my opinion. Next, we have to talk about my boy Steve. Man, oh man, Steve Fox, my boy since T5, what have they done to you? So I'm very conflicted with what they've done with Steve in Season 2. I can't say he's been buffed all that much. His power scaling hasn't really changed all that much in my opinion. I'll talk about this when I talk about his overall strength in the game. But he's had some stuff nerfed and he's had some stuff buffed. Now what I don't like about what they've done with my boy in S2 is giving him the stance 50-50 bullshit. Forced stance mix-ups. Why, man? Namco, why? One of the most iconic fighting game characters design-wise, bro. His design is so peak and you're just trying to fuck that up with stance bullshit? Nani? What? I just don't get it. I don't get it. So if you don't know what I mean, or if you haven't seen what they've done with Steve, so stuff like Peekaboo 2. Peekaboo 2 has been nerfed. It does not give a counter hit launcher anymore. It instead gives it takes you into Peekaboo stance instead. So if you get it on normal hit, you're +14 and you get a guaranteed Peekaboo 1. So that's just like, it's bad. And this is a nerf as well to Peekaboo 2 because you don't get a counter hit launcher. And if you do hit it on block, you are at +5 in Lionheart stance, which might seem good, but there's so much pushback that it's very difficult to get a good mix-up out of this because sometimes the 1+2 guard break will whiff, right? You can get the 1, yes, plus it comes out at 14 frames, so you can get it as a frame trap after Peekaboo 2 into LH, but the 1+2, very risky. The same applies to forward 2, the dark forward 2. Now thankfully this is still a counter hit launcher, but it still takes you into Lionheart. You can't cancel back into dark. Like, this was what made one of the aspects that made Steve fun to play overall, is his dark cancel game. But now dark cancel takes you into Peekaboo, so it takes you into Lionheart. Like, what were they thinking, bro? I just don't get it, man. Like, some of these changes, you feel as though it was 2 different teams or 2 different people making changes for Season 2. Like, it just does not add up. Another change was up back 2, has the same massive pushback like Peekaboo 2, so very difficult to get a mix-up. You can't get the frame trap with back 1 anymore because now it's got massive pushback, so that's a nerf. Some good stuff. Let's talk about the positive stuff. So you got stuff like up 2, which is his Peekaboo up 2. He can now do that in neutral. Amazing with Punisher. Like, this is amazing buff. Way better than back 2 as a with Punisher, way better than up forward 2 as a with Punisher. They cooked with this, which you have to be very careful because it is launch punishable on block. They gave him a new hit move, a new mid that like is all natural. Does some massive damage. I'm not a fan of this. It's a very strong mid, right? He also has back 1+2, like just a neutral. Boom, low, mid, high, gels, right? Very good mid, safe, -8 on block, has a massive pushback, and the tracking is really bad, so you have to be careful. It does have its weaknesses, and in hit it gets enhanced. You can get a wall splat. I'm not a huge fan of this, right? I like the idea of Steve having clinch throws in hit. I wish that you could have just buffed the hit throws in some sense instead of giving him this really strong OP mid, especially at the wall. Like, this is so freaking strong. It is so strong. In terms of buffs, yes, it's good. In terms of character identity, I don't like this change. They could have stuck with stuff around his hit grabs. Speaking of his hit grabs, you can now do his hit grabs from his stances. So Peekaboo, Lionheart, and Flicker. Input down 4 and he can go into his hit grab. He can also parry mids as well as highs in hit from his Lionheart. This is huge. This is huge. Massive buff. This makes his Lionheart transitions very scary on block as well, because an opponent now has to go low, right? Stuff like forward 2-2 into LH or after 2-2 into LH. You can't just mid check him, you can just jab check him. You have to be smart. So Steve gets very scary in hit because of this particular buff. So yeah, he does have a few other stuff. These are like the big major changes, and like I said, there's a big disparity between whether he's been buffed or nerfed. It's kind of 50-50. Overall, you might say he's been nerfed, or I don't know, it's very difficult. But I'll talk about his strength at the end of the video, so look forward to that. Witness the results of his training. So Raven, amongst all my mains, is the biggest winner, bro. This man has been buffed, and in a very good way. In a very good way. He doesn't really have like bullshit, right? Like, everyone's getting some really ridiculous stuff, but Raven overall's buffs are just what he needed. This is why I'm so confused. Like, are there two different teams working on the balance changes? Because it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand how you have someone balancing Raven and someone balancing Jack. And like, the buffs these characters have received, like, what is going on at Namco, bro? Like, someone make it make sense. So like I said, he's received almost everything I asked for, bro. Raven, they've made the clones -13 now from -14. They're less risky. Soul Zone 4 is now -14 from being launch punishable at -16 and above. His running 3 has been buffed. It's now faster. Like, we now have an actual pressure move running 3, bros, and it's so strong because in hit it becomes a launcher with a clone. Massive buff. QCF 1+2 is now +5. People that struggle with crouch dash manually, you do have down 4 now, which is a manual input into crouch dash, or an automatic input into crouch dash rather. If you find it difficult to manually go into crouch dash, it's also very good sometimes for when you get an error. When you press crouch dash too fast, sometimes you get like a one jab. So this is a very good quality of life buff. His QCF2 is now faster. It's unreactable. It was really good, but it was just a bit too slow. He has a new back turn low, which is not launch punishable on block. It's actually only -12. That's very rare for Raven to get a low like this. Unreactable low, +5 on hit, sorry, +4 on hit and -12 on block. Leaves you in for crouch as well. You can go into back turn if you want. Massive buffs. So Zone 3, you can now go into back turn, into crouch, only -1 on block. He has a safe mid for crouch, was only 1+2, bro. I literally asked for this. Make auto 1+2 safe on block, and they gave me this buff. Like, he's just gotten everything that he needs. Like, it's just so good. Exactly what I asked for is exactly what Raven has got. Like, this is a perfect time to pick up Raven. This is a perfect time to put time into Raven. Time to master the character, because remember, I've always talked about how this character takes so much effort, so much time. You can't just take a break from Raven, play someone else, and come back to Raven and still cook. No, you have to stick with the character and put hella time to actually get good with this character. So many combo routes as well. Like, he's just gotten so many good stuff. Raven, massive W in this update. Now, as for Leroy, I already made a video on him breaking down all his changes, so please check out the video if you haven't already. And because of that fact, I will skip on Leroy and just talk about character strength and give my thoughts on how I feel about him in S2 right now. So Leroy, of course, is another winner. He got some really good changes, like some massive buffs, stuff like back 3 giving him a guaranteed pimp cane, his new back 1+2 Austin hit absolutely freaking busted, as well as his side step 3+4. So I think it's good. I think Leroy can now keep up with everyone else. Like, I know, despite the ridiculous stuff, like, you know, the Virgin Hell Sweep, all this crazy shit we're seeing, Reina, it's a thing. I think he can now keep up. I'm honest with you, like, on God, this character is really, really strong. Most people don't like his new Saisi 3+4. I think it's one of the most fun moves Leroy has ever had. Like, for me, outside of his parries, his Wing Chun rapid strikes, this comes in maybe even at number 2. Number 1 or number 2 as the most fun thing about this character. People say it's brain dead because it's easy plus frames, but I don't agree. It's a very slow move, right? So it does have some weaknesses to it. I just like it. Maybe I'm you know, glazing, and it's because it's my main. I think it's a really good move. So Leroy can keep up. And remember, the game right now is massively on steroids in terms of offense. There are not that many defensive tools, but Leroy does have some really strong parries. Not as effective as T7, yes, I will admit, but he does have the option of having some really good parries. So sometimes in a 50-50 situation, a parry can be a good option. Leroy does have that luxury on top of having power crushes, of course. So yeah, I think he can keep up. His neutral lows are still bad. I really wish down back 4 got buffed in terms of frame data, at least -14 on block. Launch punishable is a bit too much. But he's another character that's very strong in stance and just has good neutral now. Like Leroy on God is a very strong character. We can't complain about this character right now. We can't make tier list, it's too soon. I can't place him on a tier list, it's just way too soon. All I can say is he's a freaking winner and he is massively strong in S2. Okay, let's go back to our boy Lars. My thoughts on how strong I think he's become in S2. Firstly, I think this is the strongest version of Lars we've had, like, ever. Honestly, you can say that about a lot of characters in this game, but like, bro, when I say buff Lars happened, buff Lars really happened. So outside of just his natural laws or being launch punishable, like being a risky character in terms of laws, Lars also struggled with stance mix-ups, right? He was a very heavy stance mix-up character, had good stuff in stance, but did not have really good ways to enforce those mix-ups. But now he has that on steroids with DE3 and running 1, as well as his buffs to DE3+4, the buffed law, and just his buffed stances and his new addition AOE stance as well. So right now, Lars is ridiculous. Like, forget about down forward 2. Lars overall is a very strong character, and like I said, for someone like Arslan Ash to even think of picking up Lars, then you know Mans has seen some shit, bro. He has seen some shit, and Lars do have that chip shit, like down forward 1-1 pressure, stance mix-ups, you have to guess, no defensive options, it's a lot, and he is strong. But again, like I said, it's early, we can't put him on a tier list. I can't say for sure if he's super S tier, because right now everyone is insane, or at least most of the characters are insane, and Lars happens to be one of those insane characters as well. Lars players, please, no excuses. We have got buff Lars, please, let's not complain anymore. This character is very strong. He was strong before, but now I think he's insane. So Lars, awesome character in S2. Okay, back to Steve Foxuru, talking about Steve's strength. So like I said, it's very weird with Steve in terms of how strong he is in this patch, because he did get a few stuff nerfed and it's kind of like a rework. It's very weird. But what I'll say is he's very strong in hit. Of course, he has a new hit mid and the stuff with the Lionheart grab having an inbuilt parry. First of all, it has a parry to the high end mid, as well as a low parry, an auto low parry when you're right in the animation of down 3+4. So that's what makes Steve scary in hit, because you can't check him when he's in Lionheart whilst in hit. You have to like go low or try to grab him, but again, Steve can play around that. Very strong hit mid at the wall, buffs his war game. So that aspect of Steve is very strong, as well as up 2, but like the other stuff, for being forced to go into Lionheart is not good. Up back 2 nerf, it's not good, right? Because you can't get the enforced 50-50 mix up, and just design wise also it's not fun seeing what they've done to Steve. They butchered my boy, they massacred my boy. But again, overall, it's hard to tell. Overall, he is still the same, slightly better. And in context to everyone else getting buffed, yeah, Steve doesn't really compare to stuff like Azucena, June, Kuma, right? King. He's been left behind. But I still think he can still hold up, but overall just not as good as 90% of the cast. And lastly, of course, going back to my boy Raven, I spoke about his changes in a positive light, cause yeah, man's got everything he needed. I can't even complain. Raven mains, this is our time. It's our freaking time. Like, he's so good right now. The major changes to his clones, a new safe mid for crouch. Oh my days, and it's homing. That fixes our Lily problems, our Alisa problems. Zafina, they can't just step now because we have that was starting 3+4, a safe low from back turn. Like, bro, we have it all. Like, Raven, again, this might be the best version of Raven we've ever had. Like, Namco actually cooked with these characters. I spoke about defensive options as well, with Leroy having parries. This applies to Raven having that back 2+4 one frame startup parry, because right now shit is too oppressive, bro. So much offense, so having some layers of defense is very, very good, and Raven does have that one frame parry which helps him out a lot. So again, massively strong. I can't place him on the tier list, and in comparison to what other characters are getting, like, that's the biggest problem, right? Because everyone just getting super busted stuff like Jack, Azucena, June, right? Feng has good shit for rank, so you can't really compare a lot of Raven's changes. Like, Raven's changes are just good, right? No bullshit, just good changes, something that the character has desperately needed. But other characters are getting stuff that they didn't really need in their kit, stuff that's irrelevant, just makes them super oppressive in this game, and that's the only difference. But overall, he is a very strong character as of right now. It is the best time to get into some Raven. Pause. So there you have it, Nemi gang. That's just how I feel about all 4 of my mains. I think everyone has it good except from Steve to some degree. Don't get me wrong, he is still cracked. But again, in the grand scheme of things, I think there are just so many other characters that have received more ridiculous buffs than all these 4. So they're good, but they might not be good because they don't really compare to other characters in the game, like Brian. Like, why play Raven when you can play Brian in tournament, right? Stuff like that. But they can still hold up, they still have cheap stuff as well, but like not to that ridiculous extent. But overall, I'm happy with these changes apart from Steve. So what do you guys think? My Leroy mains, my Raven mains, my Steve mains, and my Lars mains? We're all in this together. Talk to your boy, share your thoughts, and let's just talk about it. People have been asking me about guides. Yes, I will make guides, combo videos, all that jazz. I'm just waiting to see what Namco will do about all this backlash. They did say they'll put out a patch mid this month and just before Evo Japan on the 9th of May. So I want to see in which direction the patch will go, if it will be good, and then I'll start making the guides and the combos. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Don't forget to doria that like button, subscribe if you're new, and as usual, Nemi gang, may the frame data be ever in your favor. GG.